Coming up on Texas Parks and Wildlife.
I love it in the spring when I'm out here turkey hunting and everything's quiet and just the nature is speaking.
One of the challenges we have is just simply that we have over 25,000 people a year spend the night and visit out here.
It's a matter of, can we have a greater benefit to our community from using this in a different way?
Texas Parks and Wildlife, a television series for all outdoors.
It's springtime in East Texas, and love is in the air. This is mating season for the eastern wild turkey. And turkey lover Terrance Jackson is trying to call in a gobbler.
Just hearing that sound come at you through the timber and it's amplified.
They came in quiet and we didn't know they was over there.
But it just gets the adrenaline going and the heart pumping, and it's just nothing like it.
If it was a season, he would have been gone. He'd have been toast.
I've always loved the woods, and I love East Texas. I would live out here if I could. I was raised in East Texas in Henderson County, a little town called Malakoff. And when I was a youngster, I was always going and running through the woods. I guess I just got interested in turkeys, I think, when I was a kid and I was watching Wild America, Marty Stafford, when he did a special on wild turkeys. And I was like, those are beautiful birds. I started hunting Easterns a long time ago. My first place that I went on a turkey hunt was public land, and I went there and shot at my first turkey that I caught in, and I missed him. And I guess it's been a vendetta ever since. I've been after him. Every year I'm turkey hunting in the spring. I love it when I'm out here and everything's quiet and just the nature is speaking. I go in listening. On the turkey hunt, that's what it's about. It's about listening to what's going on around you and being aware.
Two jakes coming in. Yeah, I don't want to come out here and shoot a jake. Every bird I've taken out here has been a 2 or 3 year old bird. I just like to give them a shot. I come here every year, so if they make it through the season, they'll be nice long birds next year. Well, we know they're in here. See if we can get an old bird talking.
The story of the wild turkey in Texas has been one of feast and famine. When European settlers started coming to East Texas, turkeys were thriving. One early settler wrote, "The droves of wild turkeys are so numerous, they disturb the traveler with their clucking." But those settlers quickly changed the landscape.
Around 1925, a hunter could harvest up to 25 turkeys a year. By the 1940s, there were less than 100 eastern wild turkeys throughout East Texas. Overharvest as well as habitat decline really led to the demise of the population.
In the 1970s, the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department started a program bringing wild trap turkeys from other states to Texas.
All right, girl. See you in Texas.
Yeah.
And the program looked promising. Over the next 20 years, more than 7,000 eastern wild turkeys were stocked in East Texas.
Now we're using a super stocking strategy where we release 80 turkeys onto one area of good habitat in hopes that the population will grow from there.
Thanks to the success of these stockings, a spring hunting season has reopened in parts of East Texas.
Yeah, they travel through here on the regular. I see yesterday's tracks and 2 sets from today. A couple of birds moving through here. When I'm on these turkey hunts, basically I love to get away from the busyness of Houston and work and the crowdedness. The sound of the birds, the quiet in the morning, and walking through the woods is something that pulls at you. But I can't tell if that's a hog, where a hog come through and try to root something, or yeah, that's hog rooting. Feral hogs can be detrimental to turkey nests. Typically, I'm prayerful every time I'm out here, and I've gotten good response. While we were sitting out and the sun was beaming, I said a little prayer. I'd be much obliged if we got a little cloud cover and got a little relief, and we got more than what we bargained for. The rain started coming down pretty hard, and so I used my best to block as much as I could. While it was coming down and I was sitting under that vest, drenched, I was like, well, what more can I say? I don't guess there's much else I can say. Is this it? Is it over?
Not quite over. Once the rain let up, something crept up. Snorting. Feral hogs.
They had her rooting up stuff. That's a danger to the nesting hens out here. Like at least pop one, maybe that'll run them up out of here. This will make for some good eating right here. This has been a long week. All of the ripping and running and walking miles through the woods and up hills and downhill, and it's just been a challenge this year. Even though it was tempting to take those jakes that first day, with it being Easterns and we not having a lot of them out here, I just didn't have it in me to pull the trigger. I'd hope to get out there and hunt them as 2-year-olds next year and give them a chance to help repopulate the area.
The turkey was here before we were, and I think it's important that we preserve this area so that turkeys can thrive here, and hopefully the turkey population will expand into other linked habitats that are nearby.
You win some, you lose some. We'll give it another shot next year. When that season opens, I'll be out there hunting those Easterns. See if we can make it happen.
You can't really tell when you're coming in on the highway that this place exists.
It is a dramatic and rugged landscape.
There is a tremendous diversity of plant and animal life that you won't find in many other parts of the Texas Hill Country.
It's a place for people to discover God and creation while enjoying the freedom of camp life.
Each year, about 20,000 people use this property free of charge. It's church groups, inner-city youth development programs, schools.
It began with a struggling family's small store.
The purchase of the property goes way back to a dream that my wife's grandfather, Howard Butts Sr., had when he was a little boy growing up in poverty. He delivered groceries all around the Kerrville area and got to experience other people's ranches. And the story is that he hoped one day, if he could ever afford it, that he would provide a place for kids that do not get to experience properties like this to have that experience. So in the last 65 years, we have stewarded and honored that vision.
But how do you balance taking care of the land with opening it up to thousands of people?
One of the challenges we have is just simply that we have over 25,000 people a year spend the night and visit out here.
Trey Tall and Kevin Wessels manage land stewardship for the camp.
See this stuff coming back up?
That'll be our next generation of hardwood tree right there.
We realized that we really needed the help of experts. And so we made a conscious decision to swing the doors as wide as we could.
The camp welcomes the study of native plants and wildlife.
I'm working on some black-capped vireo and golden cheek warbler surveys. We have about 120 species of birds that occur here.
That's the black-capped vireo swimming right there.
We've had several experts expand the range of known species from their discoveries out here. One of my favorite parts of my job is to see the reaction of biologists and subject matter experts.
Well, there's no doubt that there is a tremendous amount of plant diversity on this property. We know that the human imprint is small enough that the wildlife is still thriving, and that's the balance that they have found here is amazing to me.
It's a fish, it's a fish, yeah, a fish!
The camp also cultivates the next generation of nature lovers.
I find that the kids are really interested in these things when they can actually hold it, look at it, touch the bugs.
Oh, she caught a minnow!
And so they're not in a classroom setting, but out here in the outdoors, where you're not pressuring them to perform, but at their own pace.
Here's one.
That hands-on approach applies to staff as well, with regular employee workdays to remove invasive species and protect new growth trees.
We want this land to be diverse, robust, balanced, and native.
We brought together a team of people that really understood how to steward property like this, and it helps us really think through how we can be not only good stewards, but show that you can have a piece of property that can have an enormous number of people, but also care for it enough to where 100 years from now, it's as pristine as it was when we first purchased it.
As Texas grows, we're losing these wild spaces, these unique and special places. Howard and Mary Butt had the foresight to create a place where people could come, enjoy the land, and not take it for granted. That's what land stewards do.
Just 30 miles east of Austin, Bastrop is a central Texas town in flux. As rural life here becomes more urban, economic expansion and a growing population seem at odds with pine-covered hills and small-town charm. But some believe Bastrop's natural roots remain vital to its economy, that the river that brought life to Bastrop still holds a key to its future.
Our clear, clean Colorado right now.
The river looks great today.
On a crisp winter day,
Getting myself oriented.
a few concerned citizens meet with a biologist to survey some riverfront property.
This is the 6-mile float down to this takeout site.
Now popular as a river access point, this land has been a lot of things over the years.
You can see that there's been a problem with ATV usage.
Mostly, it has been abused.
It's been a pretty rough area.
The gravel operations moved all the soil around and kind of made mounds.
Years as a sand and gravel pit took their toll. Years as a mud pit followed.
Once the quarry was more or less abandoned, then it became a hangout for, doing all kinds of partying, whatever. And people like to do four-wheel mudding and those types of things. The other part of that, though, is they have a tendency to also get into the river. Not only is it against the law, but it also is damaging to the ecology.
At first glance, These 30 acres may look like a lost cause, but Steve Box runs a nonprofit that is working to change that.
Vegetation plan.
Steve believes restoring this land can improve both the river and the local community's connection to it.
Part of the function of land is to clean the water, and part of what this land can do is help make sure that we have a clean, clear Colorado River instead of a mud hole. It's a matter of, can we have a greater benefit to our community from using this in a different way?
I think you're going to end up with a really nice park.
Once you give it a chance to relax and
vegetate,
restore a little bit.
By spring, vehicle barriers are installed. For a day, this site resembles a gravel mine again, but the end result is a stabilized parking area. Trail building also improves access.
We're planning on having around 2 miles of trails. It's coming along.
That's where Dale comes in.
Master Trail Steward, Dale Morrison.
I have trails built in New Jersey and Nevada and California.
With his favorite tool,
It's got the sharp ends on here to chop with and this here to rake with.
Dale has spent how many hours?
A whole bunch.
Hacking, chopping, and lopping trails along the river.
Still got to widen it and put road bed on it there.
It's hard work.
It grows pretty fast.
Even for a young man.
I chopped it last week and I come back this week and I had to chop it again.
Dale is in his 70s, but he prefers having a project,
never-ending project,
to other options.
Sitting in an easy chair or getting in a wood box, one or the other there. This keeps you healthy.
Is the man. And it just goes to show you what one person can do.
Restoration projects like this don't just require dedicated individuals. That heavy equipment came from the local water district. They own the land. Texas Parks and Wildlife and the Lower Colorado River Authority have also provided support. But perhaps the most critical buy-in has been homegrown.
Thank you. It's great to be back at Rotary.
Since 2006, Denise Rogers has been building local support for paddling trails.
With nature.
These well-marked routes provide easy public access for paddlers.
This is the one that we're launching at Nature Fest this year.
They also provide tourism dollars for local economies.
We've been participating with Parks and Wildlife to designate official paddle trail destinations. The Paddle Trails program has been wonderful for the community in terms of economic development.
Denise and her husband John are good examples of that economic development.
We actually run a kayaking business, put people in the river, pick them up, full service. All they have to do is show up. It's like we're good to go.
When Denise and John moved to Bastrop, there was no outfitter, and as a result, very few paddlers.
People didn't realize that this was a recreational river for some reason. We would look down and there would be nobody on the river, and we thought, what's wrong with this river? And we would ask people.
All right.
We heard that the river was dangerous, we heard that the river was dirty, and we heard that there were snakes in the river.
There we go.
As far as the safety, it's considered a Class 1 river. It doesn't get any easier than a Class 1.
Hey, it's perfect.
As for snakes in the river, I've only seen one snake, and he was just minding his own business.
But the water in this stretch of the Colorado has not always been appealing.
There was a time when this river wasn't so clean, and due to a lot of environmental efforts, this is a very, very clean river.
Beautiful. Kind of stick to the right in here.
One trip at a time, Bastrop is becoming known as a paddling paradise.
They're coming from Houston and Dallas and Austin and San Antonio into Bastrop. So now the locals are starting to wake up and realize, hey, maybe there is something to this.
Mercedes Groff is from nearby Smithville.
This is so nice.
And she is just discovering the river in her backyard.
So peaceful out here. I love it, like seriously. I mean, not very many people know about this.
See those natural springs? You can hear the water trickling down.
There's a nice one right here.
They're starting to show up right and left. Last month we put over 500 people on the river just in 1 month.
How can you come on this river and not want to come back?
There's just something about being completely surrounded by the water and the trees and the wildlife No matter what kind of mood I'm in when I get on the river, I'm always in a better place when I get off the river.
Are you gonna skip those rocks?
As it gets easier to access this river,
I can do it.
more and more people are connecting with it.
Woo! There you go.
And that's the idea behind those new nature trails.
People will be able to come over here and sit and watch the river. You can see lots of birds flying in here. Very nice.
Several months have passed, and this parkland may not look dramatically different, but the natural healing has begun.
We want this to be a nature destination. People that want to commune with nature, to love nature and be a part of it, to come down here and experience that and be able to take home the memories and take home the trash. We'll let them take home the trash too.
The same way natural restoration of this land can't happen overnight, respect for nature grows slowly too.
It is discouraging, but the behavior is already changing. You get people down here that want to respect the property and want to respect the river and respect each other, and you know, suddenly there's respect.
The attitude is changing, and we love that.
Perhaps the biggest sign that Bastrop is reclaiming its river is a now annual event called Nature Fest.
Nature Fest is basically an opportunity to get the community to know the river better so that they can have it in their heart to protect it.
You all set? Yeah. Have a good time.
They can get in the water, they can paddle.
There you go. All right, have you done this before?
We're getting kids and parents on the river for the first time. They've never been on the river, which is a great thing.
Bastrop would not even be here if it were not for the Lower Colorado River.
What we are doing is just reconnecting it with its past.
This really is the crown jewel of Bastrop.
We're quite pleased we found this place, and to me it's a hidden gem in the state park system.
Roger and Alice McCabe have brought their grandson Cole to Lockhart State Park for a weekend of camping.
We enjoyed bringing the grandson and the basketball, the bike riding, the fishing, the swimming, the whole thing. We just think this park has everything we like about camping.
Look, I see one.
I can't think of a better place to spend a weekend than right here.
The park is just outside Lockhart, about 30 minutes south of Austin. Many of the structures here were built during the 1930s by the Civilian Conservation Corps. But the big attraction is a 9-hole golf course.
Oh. The view is perfect. We're right on the fairway, and we picked up a lot of golf balls. Cole and I picked up 23 lost balls yesterday in just a short time.
These friends play 3 or 4 times a week.
There you are, that's a par.
We're still 1 under.
Leroy, Ed, and Bill are a fearsome threesome.
Look at that, that's pretty putt.
That was a good 5.
And together, their combined age is 245 years old.
When you get this age, this is my exercise, and I've been here 18 years. And everybody that I've seen, most of them come to a point where if they quit, they go home and die instead of playing golf.
Knock it in.
So it's a good thing for us.
That makes me mad when I do that. Ain't that awful?
If you need a break from the great outdoors, Lockhart is just a couple of miles away.
Lockhart's known for its barbecue. Even if you just want to come out for the day, you can come out and play a round of golf and then go eat some of the best barbecue in Texas.
But when asked which restaurant he prefers, Jay offers up a diplomatic answer.
I think they're all good. Quite a few campers and golfers come in and tell me that this is the best kept secret in Texas.
We're just going to have to learn to share this place with other people.
Well, that's good.
Finally.
About time he does something.
Yeah, we played pretty fair.
Anytime I can get a 38, I'll take it all day.